Okay, how are we doing on liftic? We're actually doing pretty terribly. Mainly because I need to build some refineries out here. There we go. That should solve any and all of our liftic problems. Okay, how are we doing otherwise? I think we're doing fine. The other potential option I could do, and I might want to do, I got 3 available. Let's do these 4. Okay, you're looking kind of keen. We're going to have to work on that. It looks like these are going to start spilling pretty bad pretty quick. Why are you building those platforms? You trying to make a runway? Yeah. Aw, damn it. Well, I was going to make a runway. But I guess no such luck. Anyway, we're just gonna start bombing these areas. Oh. Apparently this isn't enough. Alright, so I want a sniper. I want a missile launcher. Be really cool if I could actually change what height platforms we're at. And just build like one way up high. Let's see, there's a connector on each of the 4 sides. That might be the problem. I'm sure it is, but I just wanted to have an offshore carrier, effectively. Okay, I'm gonna pull this one out. And we're gonna power this guy. Okay, platform is being built. Now I got that set up. Can I get an M-Rift on one of these? I think we tested that earlier, and the answer was a very solid no. Okay, put that there. Everything else is looking kind of good. I'm just gonna line up my guns out here. Just because I know this is gonna keep spilling over. Okay. So how do I want to do this? I mean, the real answer is bombers are the easiest option. Create squad. Okay. And which location do I want to go for? Probably this one. It's closest to my setup. So let's just let the bombers go solve problems. Okay, how's this area looking? I can move this over. I'd like to make some room for potentially more bombers if I can get the energy generation for it. The other thing I could do is potentially make anti-creep and start trying to flood the void, but I think that's just pissing on a fire instead of actually doing anything useful with myself. Yeah, let's just do that. Wow, the effects, the results are crazy immediate. I was trying to do it the right way and it was still wrong. Okay. One of my favorite things about my really silly grid obsession in this game is that people feed into it. So somebody... I guess I might as well almost never actually shout out anybody. Let's see, where is it? A mild shout out to Cowbot for effectively taking my grid tactics to the extreme and just making some really goofy design structures. Just to show off, like, more grids. More grids than anybody would ever need to actually properly make. All hail the grid. Exactly. There we go. Nothing silly about nice-looking grids. It's a little silly. This is probably gonna... Oh, I got lucky. Okay. Let's get a pair of mortars there. And a mortar there. And then more snipers. Because this whole thing is kind of my potential entry point into the rest of the base, but also vice versa. Let's see. Question. If I get a mortar here... No. If I had a super mortar, it'd probably do the trick, but I don't think I want to do that. So what is the blue goo? It's called Creep. It is the titular Creeper World. I guess here's the other option. Let's get that set up there. Let's see. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. M-Rift. And M-Rift. I've got more than enough ARG to buy both. Okay, here we go. If we go back to this, yes! I can just barely get a regular tower there. Let's clear this out. Because if I can take this for myself... then we'll be good. We need a moat for grid gods or something. Huh. I wonder if I could, like, cross Chef's Kiss with, like, a grid somehow. Maybe. One of the things I definitely want to do sooner than later is actually, yeah, go and overhaul some of my emotes. Because I think I've got a couple of slots. A couple months ago, was it really a couple months ago? I went on a sub-icon fixing spree. With Shell's help. And I would love to do the same thing again, sooner than later. Just, all these incredibly good games have to stop coming out so I can actually have the time to, you know, work on my side projects. Okay. That's good. You know what? Let's build 2 mortars and, like, 3 cannons here. We're just gonna go silly. Oh, right. Select squad. I don't think I need more than this in terms of bombers. So, we've got our foothold, and we're building a fair number of these guys. I'm just gonna send the planes to the next section, and we're gonna let these guys just slowly roll in on their own. Okay. Are you guys... Yeah, these guys are firing just at whatever the heck they want. There's another one! I didn't even notice it there. Okay, let's switch that to auto-target. Is that all of them? I think that is. So in that case, we might want to... yeah... Yeah, we should probably reclaim one of these. Okay. That didn't visibly affect my energy generation, which is confusing. Oh, that's fine. Wow. Without those bombers, the difference is pretty apparent. Alright. Well, you know what they say, go bananas. More guns, more DACA. That's a trick. Is the campaign really only 20, those 20 missions? Yeah. How much is Creeper World 4? So, Creeper World 4 is $22. 25 normally. You get 20 campaign missions, plus a random mission generator, plus a level creator, plus every level that everybody ever creates, plus a bunch of missions that the developer made as well that just don't have plot. You are getting $1 per handmade campaign mission, then everything else is bonus. And each one of those missions is usually about half an hour to an hour of, like, actually really well-designed fun. So, like, I can't... There are very few games that are a better value proposition than a Creeper World game, in my opinion. Yeah, plus the daily challenges. Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like someday I'm gonna get a developer that sneaks into my chat to post mildly inflammatory things to figure out what my actual feelings on a game are. Like if I would defend it along the way. Just compared to Creeper World 3, which had a larger campaign, thought it was weird, that's all. Makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know. I think I'm actually gonna put the exact same amount of time into both. A lot of Creeper World 3 maps were pretty quick. Especially the early on ones. Well, it looks like Mortar Rush. Probably not feasible for most maps. But for this one right now, is good stuff. Okay, let's just push this back. Everything is good. We got the Digitalis, but I'm gonna be cheeky and put my nullifier right in the middle of it. Okay, move these over here. They think they're good. Okay, so we are desperately gonna need some snipers. And missile defense. Let's try and get the nullifier down first. Let's see. Also structure pylon. Oh. Let's just go for peak coverage more than anything else. Is that the eggs, or is this... Okay. I guess it was just the last gasp of it trying to, drop creep on me. Alright. Next step. Mortar Rush. I've never really done a Mortar Rush before. It usually has never seemed strictly worth it, as they fire slower and just kind of shoot for whatever. But I'm not going to be using them on this island again. And I can rebuild them easily. Okay, let's see. Pause. Look. Life ain't worth living if you don't feed your addictions. Won't let me put towers on this. Okay, there we go. Luckily, we've got this place pretty suppressed, so even if these guys are out of juice, I should have enough time to fill all these out. Special. Let's see. Wonder you're gonna play Ratropolis 1.0. I'll probably play a little bit of it. That's bad advice. I know it is. Don't actually... I mean, it really depends on what your addictions are. If your addictions are... you know, just actually living well and having a happy life, sure. If your addictions are grid, also sure. Truly, my advice is only relevant within the bounds of the grid. I would probably be a creepy cultist in the Tron world. All hail the grid. Shut up, Wanderbot. No! Okay, cannon's in the way. I've never actually seen OG Tron. I saw the new Tron and thought it was okay. It was very much just kind of an eye candy movie, but there was nothing necessarily wrong with that. Let's see. But I've never actually gone back to see the old one. I would like to at some point. So many other things to do. I've been having trouble wanting to watch movies lately. Just because of the amount of video games that I play. Whoa, what blew up there? That, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Whew. This mission specifically has given me just a little bit of stress in terms of, like, seeing Big Boom go by, and it's like, uh-oh. Hey, at least if I form the cult of the grid, we know exactly what my, like, my terrible method in which to, gosh, can't believe I'm saying this, but, you know, like, every cult has kind of their different ways of, like, punishing the non-believers or something like that, and most of them are just heinous. Drawing and quartering people is absolutely, like, one of the most heinous thing ever, but you better bet the Cult of the Grid would probably utilize that as their primary means. I don't like where this is going, but it had to be said. For frame of reference, it's an absolutely horrible torture / execution method where I believe they strap you to, like, 4 horses and then just kind of rip you apart that way. I think that's what drawing and quartering a person is. And it is, like, I read a fantasy book a while ago that went into way too much detail about drawing and quartering a man, and it was just like, Jesus, I want nothing to do with this. But here we are. Implying that my imaginary fake cult would do it. Yeah, horse to a limb and then the horses run. Ah, holy shit, this place got weirdly hectic. I must have... Oh, the Berthas are causing splashes. That's what's going on. Gosh, what movie was... Or what book was it? Was it a Dragonlance book? I want to say it was a Dragonlance book or something that just went way too far into detail. I loved those as a kid. I thought they were fantastic books. And then at some point it kind of clicked in my head that, like, holy shit, these are incredibly dark in a way that, like, I'm no longer comfortable with. And then I just have not been able to read any Dragonlance since. And to some degree, I think that's okay, because, like, especially this year, I just don't need negativity. That's one of the other reasons why I haven't been reading a whole lot of books lately. Reading books and watching movies. So many of them are just dreary as hell. And, like, if there was ever a year to have, like, zero tolerance for dreary shit, this would be it. I'm sure some people can kind of gallows humor their way through it all. But... not me. Good news, they canceled the new Dragonlance books. Yeah, I heard it was like weird contractual disputes. Or Wizards of the Coast canceled them and then... And then the authors started suing for other things. I don't know. So why did you ever read The Inheritance Cycle? I read the first 2 books, read the third, but I can't tell you what happened in it. That I think I completely blanked The Inheritance Cycle from my brain after a certain point. Not necessarily. Shell's just saying bad Star Wars clone. For me, I think it was just distinctly unmemorable after a certain point, which is weird because I can't get enough of stuff like The Inheritance Cycle. I think it just went on too long. In a way that, like... it became difficult for me to enjoy. Why do I have just like a... what is this? Oh, no, never mind. That is what it should be. Man, I was gonna use this as a an entry point to this other base, but I guess not. Let us go bananas, shall we? But I want to find more, like, kind of fun books. Because The Inheritance Cycle wasn't terrible, just in terms of, like, enjoyability, if that makes sense. I mean, probably not the word I'd want to use, but it was an enjoyable read back in the day when I did read it. But, like, by the third book, it was definitely getting to that point where it's like, and now we have to raise the stakes by being edgier than before, and it's just like, eh. I think the point where I checked out was when they were trying to, like, highlight the importance of life, or, like, why all of the elves were vegetarian, and then the dragon, like, charbroil a rock, and then the main character was like, holy shit, a ton of just random things died as a result of that. It was just like, I mean, it's true, but it felt very weird. Let's see, if you take a look at Wings of Fire, are you busy with things? I've been busy with things. Let's see. Let's get a couple of these down. Did I get it? Yeah, I already got a portal. Cool. Anyway, time for more mortars. I have the funds. I can afford them. There we go. And I've just been busy with, I guess, personal projects as kind of my alternative to reading. Because I got really into a couple of books for a little while. And that was a good kind of outlet. But then I've, like, checked out on reading. I live my life kind of on the binge. Where I will save up, like a TV show, and binge watch the whole thing. I will wait until all 3 books in a trilogy are out, and then I will read the whole thing. It's very rare for me to get into something before, like, a whole series is done, and admittedly, some of these things, like, I don't immediately recognize. So, like, who knows where they stack up. But it is at least mildly easier from my perspective to just say, like, I could... I don't know. I could read more of these books, or I could just wait and then, like, binge read them when I know they're going to be good. I think I've also just been very burned by trilogies lately. That it's difficult for me to specifically, it is very difficult for me to specifically go out of my way to want to get invested in a series if I don't know how it's going to end. Because I have such precious little time. And so, it's not infrequent that I will specifically, like, look up the ending to a TV show before I start watching it so that I know it'll be worth my time. There have been a couple of animes like that where I'm just like, oh man, this is awesome, and then I read about it and it's like, yeah, so-and-so just, like, assaults this other character and it just kind of, like, kills the tone of the show halfway through, and I'm like, well, alright, I'm done with that. I don't have to think about that anymore. And so, it's a good example. I mean, been seeing a bunch of people posting about, like, how good Mandalorian Season 2 is. And, like, some part of it is I just don't like Disney, period, which always gives me a bit of a sour taste in my mouth that, you know, they own Star Wars now. At the same time, I know Mandalorian is good, and I love the two guys that specifically made... Yeah. The guys that direct and produce... Because they did the Clone Wars TV show, which was just fantastic. But it's just kind of like, I could just wait until it's done, because I'd hate to get Game of Thrones. That... I guess I didn't even get Game of Thrones. Everybody else that watched it kind of got Game of Thrones. And I'm sure, like, the mid-season stuff is worth it. Yeah, Mandalorian Season 2 is good despite its owners. They're doing exactly what a lot of Star Wars fans want. Yeah. And so, like, straight up, if they could give those guys the helm of the entire Star Wars license, I bet Star Wars would thrive under them. Yeah, because I wasn't a big fan of the sequel trilogy. The games. I was a big fan of Star Wars... shoot, what's the... Jedi Fallen Order, there we go. I was a big fan of that one. They actually did a pretty bang-up job with that. So if they can kind of slowly recapture a lot of these things, I think it'll be very good for the IP. But to some degree, I think I would be perfectly fine just waiting, you know, until the season's over and then I binge it. Let's see. And that's true of, like, a lot of shows. I mean, hell, I'd gladly wait until the end of most things. I'm getting to that point with Stranger Things, where it's like, I love Stranger Things, but I can see that actually ending pretty poorly. Oh, they took out my, ooh. They took out my stuff. It must have been a stunner. Let's see. I'll just put it there. Backup power generator. Let's see. What else is going on? Any interest in translated Japanese Korean novels? I honestly usually just read the, For those, I will read the manga adaptation after the fact. There is something about the writing style, and I think a lot of it is because, like, a lot of light novels tend to use first person as their preferred writing perspective, I guess. And I have a lot of trouble reading first person. It feels very strange. I get really bad dissonance when I'm reading it, and it'll drive me nuts just trying to understand what's going on, and after a while I have to, like, put it down. Because I don't really get the mental image. And it just feels more like a list of actions than an actual thing that happened. I guess reading anything in first person, unless it's a first-hand account, it makes it very difficult for me to suspend my sense of disbelief? What is it? I mean, effectively just interferes with my imagination, and then I'm just sitting there being like, yep, sure did happen, cool. And I have to remind myself, like, no. This is fiction. I think... You know what? I know the source of that. I used to do an amount of role-playing when I was younger. Like, younger. And anywhere from like Dungeons and Dragons to like forum just stuff. And at least the sites that I was on, almost all of the bad people just did the like, I do this, I do this, I do this. And I think I just kind of developed an internalized derision for that specific style, because most of the people that did roleplay in that manner were very meh. And so when it was time to like vet new people to potentially, you know, include on the RP, it would often be like, okay, just send me like a, holy shit, look at this. Bam! This ain't gonna be worth it. But that's okay. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna get an M rift up in here. You know, I also just realized I have shields that I could have been using here. Oh, shoot. It overflowed because I wasn't shooting anymore. Well, this went badly. Can you... well, there goes the nullifier. On one hand... yeah, this went bad. Let's just bring these guys back. Yeah, there was just enough of a splashback and enough of a push from this side. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was a whoops. Next time I'm gonna put a shield generator on that side there. Yeah, Digitalis did that. Yep. That, and to be entirely honest with you, Hubris did that. The Digitalis just had a hand in it. Okay. I wonder if you ever played any of the Life is Strange games. I haven't. I probably should. But kind of on my whole thing of like, I've been trying to avoid strictly like kind of dramatic and negative things. Not gonna lie, Life is Strange felt very much like a this is going to be a negative thing kind of experience. Even if it's good or well written or interesting, that perspective of negativity is hard. Especially this year. Ooh, right. I don't have any missile launchers here anymore. Okay, there we go. Before I do another failed cannon rush, let's just get a shield generator here. Oh, the Digitalis doesn't give a shit. I think the shield keeps it out, kind of, but it doesn't actually, but it doesn't actually prevent the Digitalis from spreading it. Let's see. TFA was the best of the sequels, could have been so much better. I think my biggest problem truly was it was directed by multiple people. That, Yeah, the lack of a plan is actually very much like a killer for me. I mean, talking about, like, wanting to know what the ending is before I actually really commit to a series. Yeah, imagine if a writer doesn't know. I mean, take a look at a lot of beloved sequels and so on and so forth that have come out over the years. Mass Effect is probably one of the better examples, where the first one was bottled lightning. Nobody knew it was going to turn out as well as it did. And, I mean, yes, it was a BioWare game. They already had a pedigree, but... like... Mass Effect literally changed gaming and how gaming works, to some degree. Because of just how incredible it was at the time. And, like, nowadays, I'm gonna say, it's not necessarily anything special, because so many people have taken the style, run with it, and honestly made it better. Let's see. So here's a problem that I just realized. Oh no, this does work. Some juice if I can get him. Okay, up here. There we go. I just needed to settle them, lift them up into the air just long enough that they didn't get overwhelmed. Alright, there we go. Let's see. But yeah, I loved Mass Effect dearly. Mass Effect was one of my absolute favorite series when I was in high school. And, like, to the point where the ending credits as they rolled at, like, 3 in the morning, legitimately made me cry, because I was just so immersed. And then I just categorically did not give a damn about Mass Effect 2, and by the time Mass Effect 3 hit, I didn't even buy it. I didn't even play it until years after the fact, when Shell had some kind of fever, and I was sick, and so we were just kind of home for a week with nothing to do but Mass Effect 3. I think I might have been doing work, too. But that was very much one of those series that, like, it needed a plan and follow through. And it was very clear that it had kind of a plan, but then the writer left. And more or less, they continued, and, like, they kept the spirit of the story going, but it wasn't the same. And so, by the end of it, yeah, I was just apathetic to it, instead of, you know, this culmination of 3 amazing games. It was just kind of a, well, I guess that was the ending. Cool. See, why is the grid off? Desperation. Don't worry. I'm working on it. And so I have that problem with a lot of, like, longer series or anything like that. That's why I like indie games so much. Because there's very, very rarely any kind of room for a sequel, and they don't bother. It's just like, well, that was it. That was the end of it. And it's like, yes. I feel good about this. Or, man, that ending was crappy. Oh, well, I don't have to think about the inevitable sequel and how that's gonna function. But I have the same problem with TV shows. Where it's just like, hey, this is just gonna keep going and going until they run out of money, and then it's just gonna end in, like, the weirdest and or worst possible way. Fun. Felt similar to Dragon Age. Loved Origins to death. Can't even fathom interest in the 4th. Like, if it's good, I'll gladly play it, but I'm setting myself up to have 0 expectations, because that will mean I cannot be disappointed. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. Move that there. We're gonna get an M Rift right here. Weapon. Sniper, sniper. Anti-air. Anti-air. I'm gonna get a secondary backup M Rift back here, just in case. And next up. Platform. I wonder if I connect a platform to one of these, if it would flow out or immediately destroy. Should check out Henry Stickmin. I already did. I'm done with that one. Henry Stickmin was good stuff. I probably could have taken this area out a long time ago, but that's okay. Oh, that's... I guess that kind of works. I'm just gonna toss a couple of those down. Let's see. Structures, tower. Let's see, I'm not even going to bother trying to grid up the top. Let's take a look at this. Alright, we've taken a look, and I have said, gun! And I have said, more gun! Trying to identify a good entry point here. This should probably be fine. Nope, that was not fine. Okay, gotta have it in the middle of the defenses. I guess it flows up the digitalis. Maybe just a little bit too fast. Let's see, abduction was an alright successor. It was alright. From everything I've seen from Mist Exile especially, abduction was decidedly in kind of the okay territory. I think it got the ambiance, but the world design and the puzzles felt weaker. Oh, can I put that there? Hell yeah. Oh, that's a trick. Seeing as the creeper has this tendency of flowing out, let's just put the nullifiers on actual space platforms. Okay, weapon nullifier. There we go. That should do the trick. I just realized I was doing this at slow speed this entire time. Whoops. There we go. Right, same deal over here. Those Berthas are just rude. It's just like, oh, I see you have a bit of creeper there. No, you don't. Just deletes it. What am I missing? Is it just this? Oh, I'm supposed to... Oh, man. Guess who totally forgot his objective here? I am on the warpath and nothing will stop me. Is there something buried in that statue you chose not to pick up? I mean, ultimately, that's the final objective that I'm supposed to get. Everything else I've been doing is optional. But I was supposed to collect this thing and then leave, but clearing the creeper is the bonus objectives that I didn't bother doing. It's fine. Alright. Did I do... Oh, the compound was yesterday, so that was only the first mission of today. Woo!